I'm going to eat out tonight as well because I can't stand the way that you smell. You have no choice but to eat on your own. No one wants to be around you.
Melanie, you're being very unreasonable and hurtful. I have feelings, you know. Please don't hurt me like this. Do you enjoy tormenting me every day?
I'm not tormenting you. I'm simply telling you the truth. The truth hurts sometimes. If you don't want me to look down on you, go find yourself a better job. I don't want to spend another minute with you if you're going to continue working as a construction worker. But I guess it's too late now. I'm sure it's not easy for a construction worker to change over to a different job.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you're 40 now. It's not easy to find a new job at your age. I can't believe that I put up with you for 20 years. I should have left you sooner. Oh, I'm so ready to leave you for good.
How about you listen to what I have to say to you first? Don't make any rash decisions. You have it all wrong. I'm not a construction worker anymore. You haven't taken any interest in me these past few years. And you never listen to anything that I say to you. But as husband and wife, shouldn't we try to understand one another by talking to each other?
Do you still plan on staying married to me? Don't make me laugh.
We're still married and I consider you to be my wife. Why aren't you willing to put any effort into making our marriage work? I know that when I worked as a construction worker, I wasn't able to help out with the house or raise Lisa, but I've changed now. I'd like you to hear me out. And can you please stop avoiding me? We should have dinner together. We're a family after all.
I hate being with you. I don't want to eat dinner with you. You need to understand that. I don't love you anymore, and I want you to leave me alone.
Lisa is going to go to university soon, which means that we'll have more time together, just the two of us. That's why I like to take the time to work on our marriage. I want to be happy with you again. I don't want to give up on us.
That totally grosses me out. I'm not interested in staying married to a loser like you.
What did I ever do to you to deserve this? You may not think that I'm rich, but I've been supporting you and Lisa financially all these years. Shouldn't you be more grateful?
You should know that Lisa doesn't want to continue living with you either.
That's because you tell her all these negative things about me. You've brainwashed her. I've been nothing but a great husband and father. You made fun of my job in front of Lisa. That's why she doesn't respect me. What's wrong with construction work anyway? If you had treated me with more respect, the things between Lisa and I wouldn't have gotten this bad.
Lisa was really embarrassed of the fact that her father was a construction worker. You know that?
Did she tell you that?
She didn't have to. I know how she feels. She's happy that I'm finally leaving you. I'm ending our marriage.
Are you serious about that?
I'll wait until Lisa graduates high school, but after that, you're on your own. So please don't try to stop me. I've made up my mind.
So you just gotta ignore my feelings then? You don't care that I still want to work on our marriage?
You should be happy that I bothered to make you breakfast. I'm not all that mean. But you have to know that I don't enjoy talking to you. You turn me off. I don't know why I married you in the first place. What was I thinking?
Do you have to be so cruel to me? If you're not willing to sit down and talk with me, I'm gonna have a chat with Lisa. She may be more understanding than you are.
Well, you shouldn't expect so much from her. Otherwise, you'll be let down. To us, you're like an old bank account, one that we won't be using anymore because we have no use for it.
Well, you really don't hold back, do you? Fine, I get it now. Lisa, what time are you coming home tonight? I'll be waiting for you at home with dinner on the table. I'd like to catch up with you as we haven't had much time to talk to each other these days.
Why would I want to have dinner with you? I'd rather not eat if I have to choose between having dinner with you.
Why do you hate me so much? Was I a bad father to you? I know that your mother doesn't say nice things about me, but you shouldn't believe every word that comes out of her mouth. For one thing, she shouldn't look down on construction workers. I've worked really hard so that you two could have a happy life. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
Not really. It was your choice to get married and have me. It's your responsibility as my father to take care of me. That doesn't make me love you, though. Mom taught me a good lesson, though. I know not to marry a man that doesn't make much money.
I'm gonna pay for university tuition. Shouldn't you be nicer to me?
I'm going to find another way to pay for university. I don't want to rely on you anymore. I want to cut all ties with you. I'm 18 now. I can take care of myself. Besides, I want Mom to divorce you and be happy again. If she marries her boyfriend, she can finally have the happy life she deserves.
Boyfriend? What the hell are you talking about?
Forget I said anything. Nothing. I'm busy now. I gotta go. Bye.
Let me ask you one last question. Are you saying that you no longer consider me to be your father?
I've never considered you to be my father. You just didn't know it, that's all.
What?
I've always thought that you were a loser. Never understood why Mom chose to marry you. I'm going to continue studying hard even when I go to university. I don't want to end scum like you. You didn't even go to high school. I'm embarrassed about the fact that you're so uneducated. Now that Mom is finally divorcing you, we're going to be strangers. Bye, asshole.
Thanks for letting me know how you really feel about me. I've now made the decision to divorce your mother just like she wants me to.
I need you to pack up your things and get ready to move out of the house. I was planning to wait until Lisa graduated high school, but we can't take it anymore. Since you know how we both feel, there's no need to play nice anymore. We want you out of the house as soon as possible.
Fine, if that's what you both want. But you should know that I was the one that bought this house and it's under my name.
But Lisa and I will be living here, just the two of us from now on. How about you just give up the house? You're single now. You don't need this much space. I'll be sending you the divorce papers soon.
I don't intend to fight back. I'll move out of the house just like you want me to. I'm still mad at you for the fact that you didn't give me the chance to talk about my side of the story though. But whatever, it's over between us. I'm sure you'll come to regret your decision.
As if. This is the happiest moment of my life. I should have left you sooner. Don't know why I waited so long. The only thing I ask of you now is that you pay for Lisa's university tuition.
Yes, well, I'm gonna contact the movers now so that I can move out as quickly as possible. I considered you and Lisa to be my precious family, but not anymore. I can't believe that I felt that way about you two. You didn't deserve my love.
Yes, whatever. We don't care. Please don't get in touch with us anymore.
I won't. You'll just regret kicking me out of the house, though. I can tell you that. But you both deserve whatever punishment comes your way. Bye now.
You said you were moving out today, right? How long is it going to take for you to move out? When are you going to leave the house? Could you please hurry? I want to change the locks.
Why are you so desperate? I'm starting to pity you.
Why would you say such a thing? I couldn't be happier to have you out of the house. I've already filed the divorce papers. I can't wait for this to be all over.
I'm just waiting for someone to come pick me up. I'll be out your hair soon.
Who's coming to pick you up? You should see yourself out. We don't want to spend a minute more with you under the same roof.
My limo's here. I'm out of here.
What the hell? A limo?
Did you see it? I'm off to a board meeting and tonight I'm moving into a high-rise condo.
I don't get it. What's going on?
I'm moving out, just like he wanted me to. My driver came to pick me up so that I wouldn't be late for my meeting. I just wanted you to witness that since you've been making fun of me for such a long time. I'm going now.
Wait, explain to me what's going on.
Why should I? We're no longer family. I don't have an obligation to tell you. You didn't have to listen to me anymore. That's what you always wanted.
But I want to know. Tell me, why do you have a limo and a driver? It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't need to make sense to you. You had many opportunities to sit down and listen to me, but you chose not to. It's too late now. You don't need to know.
Know what? What are you hiding from me?
You assumed that I was a construction worker all these years, but I wasn't. I started my own company and I'm my own boss now. I'm very successful, you know.
What company? How did I not know this?
I'm now the CEO of a fairly large construction company.
You've got to be kidding me. Don't lie to me. You're not capable of running a successful business. I know it.
I don't care what you think of me anymore. But you're obviously intrigued. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking me so many questions. And after seeing my limo, you're worried that what I said might be true.
Is it true, though? Are you really a CEO?
I started my own company a few years ago, and things are going really well for me. And I've diversified the business quite a bit. I'm so successful that I have my own driver that picks me up for work in a limo every day.
I bet you're lying. I only saw the limo once. You could have just rented one to try and make me jealous.
I usually ask my driver to park away from the house because I didn't want the car to be in the way of our neighbors. And up until today, I didn't want my driver knowing the exact location of my house. But since I'm moving out now, I asked my driver to come all the way to the house.
I still don't believe you. Are you really some big shot?
Yes, I am. You always look down on me, but the people that I work with all look up to me. You assumed that I didn't make much money, but you were wrong.
I guess I wasn't interested in you enough to care.
Well, you should have noticed. I put more than enough money into our bank accounts, and I let you buy anything you want with your credit card. You should have been more grateful. You shouldn't make assumptions about someone's profession without getting to know what they do. I'm really disappointed in both you and Lisa.
I had no idea you made so much money. Why didn't you tell us?
I did many times, you just weren't listening to me.
Really? Because I don't remember.
A few years back, I told you that I was starting my own company, but you laughed in my face. That was 8 years ago. I realized that you had no interest whatsoever in my life, so I stopped telling you these things. But don't worry, I won't sue, ask you to pay me alimony for cheating on me.
What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb with me. Don't ever show your face in front of me ever again. Lisa is now 18 years old, which means I don't have an obligation to pay child support. I paid off our mortgage, so there really is nothing left for me to do. Now, leave me alone.
I had no idea you did so much for Lisa and I.
Also, your good-looking boyfriend who claims to be a successful businessman is a con artist, so you should be careful.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
When I found out that you were cheating on me, I hired a private investigator to look into your boyfriend. I could have asked you to pay me alimony for cheating on me, but I felt sorry for you seeing that you were dating a con artist. Besides, you're gonna need to hold on to your money now that we're divorced. I don't intend on supporting you financially ever again. Bye.
There's too much information here. I'm confused. My boyfriend is a con artist?
But if you love him anyway, I won't stop you. You're single now. You can do whatever you like. We should each enjoy the remainder of our lives.
Oh, wait. I think we need to talk.
It's too late to talk now. It's over. We're divorced, and I don't want to see you ever again. You finally got rid of me. Aren't you happy? Later, bitch!
In the end, Melanie got what she deserved. Her husband, Ted, didn't want anything to do with her anymore after how she had mistreated him all these years. She had no idea that Ted was a successful CEO, running multiple businesses. Melanie had intended on getting her boyfriend to help out with Lisa's university tuition. But since he turned out to be a con artist, things didn't go as planned. It turned out that the boyfriend had used all of Melanie's savings, and Melanie and Lisa were forced to live a life of frugality. Lisa may not even be able to go to university as planned because her mother could no longer afford it. If only the two of them had appreciated Ted's efforts more.
Miss Victoria! I'll be going by tomorrow as well. Are you gonna be okay?
Tomorrow?
Yes! I'll be bringing Mom as well.
I don't mind her coming by, but Francis hasn't apologized to me about what happened the other day. So I'm really hoping that both you and Francis will actually consider what happened and take it seriously.
What? You're still talking about that from the other day?
I didn't want to bring it back up, but Minnie was injured from that. So I think it would be appropriate for you to apologize formally.
It's just something that happened between kids. Something is seriously wrong with you if you're gonna be bothering them like that.
Francis literally injures Minnie. You're not gonna stop them at all, right?
Look here, Victoria. As someone who grew up in a nice household like you probably wouldn't understand.
What do you mean by that?
My parents never got along. They eventually got a divorce, and I was raised by my mother. I don't get along with my brother. After I got married, I haven't even seen him. He doesn't have any kind of relationship with any of my relatives. So I seriously just want to point out how I'm just a super lonely person that's been cursed.
I see.
So I get really frustrated when a girl like Minnie, who lives with no difficulties and lives a happy life, gets annoyed and bothered. So I don't think it's right to get mad at Francis.
I don't really get that logic.
Besides, Martha really gets along with Minnie. Martha is the older sister. Martha really is a good girl. So I can really understand why Minnie would get along with her.
That doesn't really follow your logic from earlier.
I'm someone who needs to be pitied. You really don't understand that, do you? I was raised in a household with no blessings. You would never understand. Considering you were loved by your parents and you get along with your siblings, you would never get it.
I feel like you're changing the subject here. You and your household issues. And the fact that Francis injured Minnie are not really related to each other, are they?
I don't want Francis to have the same experience as me. So I've been working really hard. But no one notices how hard I've been working, and they don't realize how I've been trying to get all of my relatives to get along with each other even when I don't like you. But I want my mother-in-law to go by your house because I want her to be happy.
You drive someone who can't drive herself, so I really do appreciate that, but again, I feel like you're staying off subject.
It must be nice being you. You only see her every once in a while.
Huh? She seems like a great person. I don't see how that's a problem at all.
You just don't seem to understand what it's like to never be loved by your real mother. That's why I decided I would pour all my love and care into her. And that's why you should be kind and take care of Francis and I. What is that attitude? You really need to think twice just because she was injured a little bit. You are being too kind to Minnie. You should feel bad for Francis and I. You should really be nice to us.
What the hell are you talking about? Francis literally shoved Minnie off the top of the staircase. I don't think that's something to just shrug off. There was a cushion at the bottom, so she luckily didn't get any cuts and only bruises, but she still hit her head, and they had to run tests on her. You think that's something to just ignore and shrug off?
Are you having fun bullying me like that?
What?
Francis didn't mean anything by it. You really don't have to make a big deal out of it. You were yelling at Francis and getting in her face. If anything, I feel like you should be apologizing. Are you ready to apologize?
What are you smoking? Seriously? In that kind of situation, you really need to be teaching her a lesson and making sure she doesn't do that kind of thing again. Francis was crying.
How could you get that mad at a crying 4-year-old? Were you that angry? The only thing that crossed my mind is how you're seriously twisted in the head.
Excuse me? Okay, fine, whatever. Please don't ever contact me again. Huh? If you think that I made the wrong decision to scold your daughter, I want nothing to do with you. I don't want to deal with you either.
You don't have to put it that way. We're working so hard to try to get closer to you. You don't care about our happiness? You don't care about us? You don't feel bad for us at all?
I do feel a little bad for you. At least for Francis, anyway.
Well, what about me?
I don't care about you. You're about to be 40, and you're talking about how miserable and sad you are. I don't believe you, to be honest. And you live with your parents because you wanted to live with them. You didn't live with your family before, so you said you wanted to live with your parents to feel a parent's kindness. You convinced Mom, who wasn't really on board with it. You rebuilt their house into a duplex so that you could live however you wanted to live. How am I supposed to feel bad for you?
You don't have to say it like that. I don't feel an ounce of kindness from you. I don't have any freedom.
I'm not an idiot. You made Mom prepare all of the food. What are you talking about, living a tough life? And yet you have the audacity to sit here and pick and choose when they cook for you. And you leave behind food. I think you're actually the worst. That's why Frances always picks and chooses just like her mother.
That has nothing to do with you. You just don't understand.
What, because I grew up in a nice household? Was that your excuse? You always say that, so I'm starting to see a pattern. My father actually passed away when I was young, too. My father right now is actually a remarried dad. We had pretty tough times growing up, too, you know. There are no people in the world who are ever super happy all of the time. They just don't exist in the real world. So stop pretending you're this miserable little girl and ask for everyone to treat you like some kind of princess. It won't fly.
You don't have to put it like that. I'm the one that everyone needs to look after. I am the one who is most miserable. You just don't understand.
I don't want to understand. I feel bad for Minnie the most. She doesn't even realize what's going on. She just talks to her sister Martha, then Frances has to be jealous and shoves her off the top of the stairs. She has to be hurt.
It's because she took Francis's sister.
What? Martha's not Frances' sister.
Frances has known Martha long before Minnie has ever known her. But Minnie doesn't understand that at all.
Are you seriously asking a 2-year-old to understand social dynamics? Are you dumb? If you're not going to apologize, I'm going to be suing for damages.
Damages? When it's something that a kid did?
The parent is responsible for what the kids did. If that parent has no intention of apologizing, I don't think it can be helped at all. Also, I spoke to my husband and brother-in-law. Only a little bit, but please don't come over to my house for a while. Actually, just don't ever come over at all.
What are you talking about? How could you say such a thing to me? I wanted to make my kid have the experience with her relatives that I could never have. Why are you getting in the way of my effort to let her have a fulfilling life? You just don't understand anything!
No, you don't understand. I don't care about your efforts. You injured my child. You didn't even apologize for it. Something is seriously wrong with you. Please don't talk to me anymore.
If I don't drive, then who's gonna take Mom to see Minnie and Martha? Are you gonna rob Mom of her experience with her grandchild?
I would rather that than my child be injured. Also, my husband is also a capable driver. It'll work out.
You really want to cut ties with me that badly?
Yes.
We were able to be siblings finally. Why would you say such a thing? I finally started to trust you as my sister-in-law.
A second ago, you clearly said you didn't like me. Also, when are you planning on telling your brother that Frances isn't going to kindergarten anymore?
Huh? You told him?
Yeah, I figured that he knew about it. You wouldn't believe the look on his face when I told him about it.
I don't believe it. Why would you do such a thing?
Frances always hits her friends at school, so she's disliked. And apparently you were warned by the other moms too. She doesn't want to go to kindergarten, so you don't make her go, right?
You make me suffer. For what? What pleasure do you get from this?
I just stated a fact is all. I'm sorry you're suffering. I feel worse for Minnie. She was suddenly abused for some reason. She's the real victim in all of this. If you think you're that miserable, how about you pretend to be the damsel in distress somewhere else? Please don't talk to us anymore. Goodbye. Nancy freaked out after that conversation and started throwing a tantrum around the house. Then she managed to injure her mom in the whole mess. Her husband realized the gravity of the situation. Her husband was warm and kind, so maybe Nancy was just being spoiled by that. Minnie was chased out of her parents' house. During the divorce meetings, Nancy was dissatisfied with the whole thing, so her husband had to take off work and go take care of Mom and Frances. Frances was apparently much happier as a result. The next time that Victoria met up with Frances and Minnie, she apologized like a good girl. Victoria had thought that if they just got a divorce like this, it would be better for Frances.
Lisa, how are you? I hope you're not too busy. Can I go and borrow it today as we promised?
Hi, Susie. What are you talking about?
You can't have forgotten already. You're not that old. I guess it slipped your mind. You promised me that I could borrow your car for a couple of days. Remember? You shouldn't forget promises like that. It's not very polite, you know.
No, I haven't promised anything like that. I never once said that it was okay. I said that I can't allow you to borrow my car over and over. Don't forget things for your own convenience. I'm not letting you borrow my car, and that's final.
Oh, come on. I need a car. We're planning on leaving tomorrow. I've already paid for the camping site, so we can't delay our trip. We need to borrow your car or we won't be able to go enjoy our holiday. We're going to miss out on camping by the sea just because you wanted to be mean.
There's no point guilt-tripping me. I already told you to get a rent-a-car. It's my car and I need to use it tomorrow. I can't lend it to you.
But rental cars are so expensive. It'll be impossible to find a cheap one at this last minute. Also, tomorrow's a federal holiday. There aren't going to be any vacancies. Everyone's going to have the day off, so it'll be impossible to find a car now.
Why should I care? I already told you that I can't lend you my car weeks ago. You should have booked a car then. And why can't you use your own car?
Why do you have to be so horrible? It's being repaired. It's not at home at the moment. I don't have my own car, and I can't get a rental car, so you have to lend me yours. Plus, if I borrow your car, I don't have to pay a thing.
What makes you think you can borrow it without paying? I'm not lending it to you. I don't care how expensive rent-a-cars are. That's your own fault for not booking in advance. You'll have to solve this problem yourself. It's got nothing to do with me.
Don't say that. I can't believe you were this much of a bully. I thought you were much kinder than that. Oh, I'm so disappointed.
It's not a matter of being kind. No matter how bad you try and make me feel, I'm not lending you my car. End of story.
Whenever your son wanted to borrow my daughter's toys, I always let him. I think it's only fair that you be just as generous. You're an adult, aren't you?
Borrowing toys and borrowing a car are completely different. You can't honestly think that it's the same thing. Cars involve insurance, and it'll get complicated if you have an accident or happen to damage the car. And a car is worth a lot more than a child's toy. You understand that, don't you?
But my husband is good at driving. He won't have an accident or do anything that could damage the car. So you don't have to worry about insurance. We've got road service, so if we get a flat tire or run out of gas or something, we'll be able to sort it out.
Whether your husband is good at driving or not, you could still get caught up in an accident. I'm talking about if someone is injured. I can't let you borrow my car. That would be too irresponsible. Find a rent-a-car.
Oh, please! It's just for a few days. You can't be that selfish. Why can't you be a bit more understanding?
That's what I want to say. If you think I'm being selfish, then so be it. Anyway, I've got to get back to work. I have a meeting, and I don't have time to be discussing this with you. I'm not going to be able to respond to your messages, so there's no point in messaging me. Susie, pick up the phone! What do you think you're doing? What did you do with my car? There's no point pretending that your phone is off. I know that it was you who took my car. If you don't answer my messages or calls, I'll report this to the police.
What? The police? You're kidding! You're overreacting!
Why were you ignoring my messages? What have you done with my car? I can't believe you'd take it without my permission. What is wrong with you? I told you that I didn't want to lend it to you.
You're so rude! I didn't take it without permission! Your husband was the one that gave me your car keys.
That's because you lied and told him that I promised to lend it to you. Even though I told you several times that I didn't want to, you went against my wishes. My husband was naive to believe you, but that's because neither of us knew up until now that you were this untrustworthy. It looks like he tried to call me, but like I told you, I was in a meeting. You took advantage of that and coerced my husband. Anyway, I want you to return my car. We need it tomorrow. If you return it right now, I won't involve the police.
Please don't call the police. I haven't done anything wrong. Your husband gave us the keys, so that means he gave us permission to borrow it. Why are you being so mean? You should just accept his decision.
It's not his decision to make. The car is mine. It's not his property, so no matter what he said, my word is final. Plus, he only gave you the keys because you convinced him that I had said yes, but had forgotten to mention it to him.
It's not his car? Well, I didn't know that, but he's still the one that gave us the keys. It's such a big car. It must come in really handy for all sorts of occasions. It's perfect for carrying our camping equipment.
Just hurry up and bring it back.
But we've already finished loading it with all of our stuff. It's a plan to take everything out again, so we'll return it after we've come back from our trip. That's good enough, isn't it?
Good enough? Not nearly. There's nothing good about this situation. I need my car so that we can visit my parents for the holidays tomorrow. How am I supposed to get there without a car?
I don't know. Why don't you get a rent-a-car? If you can buy a big car like this, I'm sure you can afford it.
You're joking, right? You're telling me to get a rent-a-car? Why should I be the one getting a rent-a-car when I've got a perfectly good car of my own? A car that you've stolen from me. You should be the one paying for a rent-a-car if yours isn't available. Be an adult and give me back my car.
But it took so much time getting all of our stuff in the car. It'll take ages to get it all off again. It'll just be a waste of time if we do that. And I don't want to do anything that bothersome. If you have a problem with me borrowing your car, you should talk to your husband. I didn't steal the keys. He handed them to me. We only borrowed the car because he said we could. It's not our fault you didn't talk to your husband about not letting us borrow your car. Our kids get along really well, so you don't want to ruin their friendship with something so trivial, do you? If they knew what you were saying, they would be really disappointed. I'm sure your son would be happy to let us borrow the car for a day or two.
Right now, Sam's opinion and my husband's opinion don't matter. That's my car you've taken. I'm going to pick it up, so please unload your things and have it ready for me to take home. I'll have to take a taxi to go to your place, so expect a bill in the mail. I wouldn't have had to do this if you had just given me back my car. But I had no choice.
You can't come here. Even if you do, there's no point. We've already left. Instead of wasting money on a taxi, you should go home.
I know that you're lying and you're still at home. Did you forget that Sally lives opposite you? She called me to tell me that my car was parked on the side of the road. She also told me that parking there is off limits because there's a crosswalk nearby. You were pretty confident that you wouldn't cause an accident, but you're already doing something so irresponsible. How am I supposed to trust you with my car? By the way, Sally thought about calling the police since it's pretty dangerous, but she was kind enough to call me first since she recognized it as my car. I made it clear that I hadn't parked it there and told her that it had been stolen, so you better hurry up and get your things out and return it to me before I really do call the police.
You told her that I stole it? How could you say that? How could you accuse me of something like that?
It's not an accusation, it's the truth. I'm asking you to return it, but you're refusing. That means that you've stolen it. I'm going to collect my car, but if the police find it parked in a no parking zone before I can get there, there's nothing I can do to help you. You'll have committed a crime.
I can't believe you told Sally that I stole your car. I can't believe you have the nerve to victimize yourself like that. I haven't done anything to deserve all of this. I thought you were so kind, but now I know that was all an act. You're horrible. How could you spread rumors about me like that? I thought we were friends.
You say you haven't done anything. You took my car without my permission. And then you parked it in a no parking zone. What were you thinking? If your definition of kind is letting you step all over me, then you're just being selfish.
I'm sorry. I didn't think you would be so bothered by me borrowing your car. But you didn't have to tell Sally that I had stolen it. You went too far, Lisa. I can't believe I ever thought of you as a friend.
I told you over and over again that I didn't want to lend you my car. How many times do I have to tell you no before you understand that it means no? And I haven't spread any rumors. I've only told Sally the truth about what happened. Don't guilt trip me.
Oh, okay. I understand that you didn't want to lend me your car. But please, don't call the police. You're just overreacting. I've already apologized. You should forgive me already.
The situation has gone beyond being settled by a simple apology. Wait, you got a scratch on my car?
What? What are you talking about? We haven't done anything. I told you my husband is a good driver.
I'm on the phone with Sally and she went to take a look at my car for me. She told me that there was a scratch on the side, on my door. What have you done? This is one of the reasons why I didn't want to let you borrow my car.
It's not my fault. Somebody must have scratched it when they passed by. They should have taken more care when they drove by. It's not my responsibility, so I don't have to pay anything, do I?
You're at home, aren't you? I've had enough of discussing this with you. Would you hurry up and return my car? If you won't, I'll have to call the police. I'm not taking no for an answer.
I said I'm sorry. How many times do I have to apologize? We'll be back from our trip tomorrow, so I'll return it then. It's just a scratch, so it's not like it needs urgent repairs.
No, you're returning it now! If you don't come back with my car within an hour, I'm reporting it to the police as a theft. Once I've called the police, I'll have to head to yours in a taxi to collect my car, so I'll be billing you with a taxi fee. Do you understand? I'm being very serious. I want my car back.
Wait a minute, just calm down. You're being really unreasonable. My husband's apologizing too, so please forgive us. Ugh, he said that he got carried away. Please calm down. Don't call the police on us. We didn't mean to do anything.
Carried away. He says he got carried away? Do you really think that that's a good enough excuse for what you've done? You stole and got a scratch on my brand new car after I told you repeatedly that I didn't want to let you borrow it. Your husband knew that I hadn't given you permission, but he still cooperated with you. I can't believe either of you. You really must be perfect for each other if you can be so accepting of your partner's crimes.
May is apologizing too, so would you please forgive us? We'll babysit Sam whenever you want. You must be really busy with work, so dealing with the police will take up a lot of time, don't you think? Let's just forget about this.
Why are you bringing May into this? She's your daughter, but the only ones that are to blame are you and your husband. Why should she be apologizing with you? May has no reason to feel bad for any of this.
I thought that you were still kind enough to forgive us if May apologized with us. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking.
I've already called the police.
What? You're joking.
I'm heading over, so have my car ready for me to take home. I want everything you've loaded into it removed. If it's still got stuff in it when I arrive, I'll take it home anyway and have everything given to charity.
I suggest you work very quickly.
You haven't actually called the police, have you? You're just playing with me, right?
Sally was kind enough to stay with the car, so it hasn't been towed, but if she hadn't been standing by the car, you might have been left with a ticket.
Yeah, but it's not that big a deal. I thought it would be okay if we left for just one night. I didn't think there would be any problem. Are you already on your way? It would be a waste to pay for a taxi. I'll have my husband take your car back to you, so you don't have to come. You don't have to call the police either.
I'm already on my way. I can't trust anything you say anymore, and God forbid, I don't want things made worse by your husband having an accident on the way to my place. I'll need to have someone take a look at the scratch on the side, so I'll be taking my car straight into the local repair shop myself.
All right, if you say so. We'll pay a little bit for the repairs. So can you forgive us? Please don't call the police on us. You'll just be making a big deal out of a really small issue. Please. My mother-in-law lives in the neighborhood, and if she hears about this, she'll be furious. She already hates me so much. If she finds out the police were involved, she'll never forgive me.
Susie, that's your own problem, not mine. If you didn't want the police involved, you should have returned my car when I first asked you to, not after the millionth time. Anyway, I'm curious. Why didn't you park my car in your apartment's parking space? It should be open if your car is being repaired, right?
Huh?
You have a parking space reserved for your apartment, which you usually use for your car, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but we can't use it right now.
Because your car is still parked there. It's not being repaired, is it?
No, my car's out for repairs. I just can't use the parking space right now.
You want to use my car because it was big and convenient for carrying camping items, right? Your car wasn't big enough, so you decided to use mine. You lied to me about that too, didn't you?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't know how to explain. I thought you wouldn't let me borrow your car if you knew that mine was still usable. I missed the chance to tell you the truth.
You didn't mean to? You clearly thought that the best way to get me to lend you my car was to deceive me. You can't pretend that you didn't lie on purpose. You say you missed the chance to tell me, but I don't think you ever planned to tell me the truth. And you wonder why I can't trust you with my car?
I'm really sorry. I'll pay for the repairs, so please forgive me.
I've had to pay for a taxi to get to your house, so I want you to pay for that too. I'll be sending you a bill for the repairs and the taxi fare, and I'll be talking with my lawyers. You took my car without my permission, so I can press charges for theft, you know.
Please don't do that. Lisa, there's a police car outside my apartment. Did you really call the police?
Yes, I did. I reported the theft a few minutes ago. I'll be there within a few minutes myself. I suggest you go down to the police and be honest about what you've done. If you don't, you'll just make things worse, and your mother-in-law will find out in the worst possible way. You don't want to make a fuss in front of all your neighbors, do you? How ironic. If you had just accepted that I didn't want to lend you my car and booked a rent-a-car, you might have saved a few more dollars, and you would have been able to avoid such an embarrassing situation. In the end, a police car had come to check up on the situation, not just because Lisa had reported the theft, but because there had been calls from the neighbors about the car being parked in a no parking zone. Many neighbors had come out to see what was going on and were gossiping about the appearance of a police car and about Susie's grand theft auto. Susie and her husband were given a warning by the police officer, and the scratch turned out to be the doing of one of the neighbors' children, but Susie's husband had to take full responsibility since he was the one that parked the car there. Lisa was able to use that in demanding that they pay the full amount of repairs. Susie and her husband ended up paying a lot more than they would have done if they had just rented a car. Of course, Susie and her family couldn't go on holiday, and her mother-in-law found out about what they had done. She was lectured and lost all her trust. On top of that, none of Susie's friends would hang out with her after they had heard what she had done. She had to pay a lot more than she expected financially and socially. And so it looks like she should have just booked a rent-a-car. Miss Jennifer! I looked on your social media yesterday. That dress is seriously the worst thing imaginable.
You saw?
Yeah, of course I saw. I saw your dress, but even worse was the bride's dress. I kind of expect it from your sister, though. I mean, it's not like I wanted to see it, but it showed up in my feed, so what can you do, right? All the attendees had their faces hidden, but it was from that boring old woman's marriage, so I'm sure it was full of boring old attendees.
Please don't be like that. It's my sister you're talking about. Besides, we all went to the same local piano class. We're all friends here, right? We're all on speaking terms. Back in the day.
She was a boring, unimpressionable pipsqueak. She was younger than me, but for some reason the teacher's favorite. She tried to be more noticeable than me at the rehearsal. I never liked her from back then. I didn't realize that my younger brother's fiancée was that girl's sister. Literally the worst.
I don't know what you want me to say. It's a small town, it can't be helped.
When I used to take piano classes a while back, I really didn't like her at all. That's why I would always do little things to piss her off. You know, like tearing the back of her dress, or putting thumbtacks on the bottom of her chair. Oh man, I remember when she sat down on them without looking. That was seriously hilarious.
You're the worst. Why would you do such a thing?
Now that stupid little girl is grown up to marry someone. What has the world come to? What kind of weird man would want to marry that thing anyway?
Please stop right now.
I'm so glad I didn't take part in it. When you tried to talk me into going, honestly, I had to think about it for a second.
Is that true?
You know how at a wedding a lot of people get to know each other? So, I wanted to meet someone and settle down, or so I thought, but if it's your younger sister's man, there couldn't possibly be any good men. I didn't want to give her a gift either. So, I'm glad I didn't go.
I see. We were still relatives, and it seemed like you two knew each other from a while back. That's why I invited you all, but you missed out on a really great wedding, you understand that?
Yeah, sure. It's your younger sister's wedding, so I'm sure everything looks great in your eyes. It's that woman's husband anyway. I'm sure he's terrible looking. She's nothing like me. I only want a good-looking man who clearly makes over $100K a year. Those are the only people who are worthy of going out with me.
Is that why you can't find anyone to get married to yet?
What is that attitude? It's not like I can't find anyone. It's just that I haven't yet. If I wanted to get married, it wouldn't take me that long to get married. But no one is worthy of my time yet. So I'm still in the selection stage.
I see. Here's a photo of my sister's husband.
Huh? Oh, wow. Really? He actually doesn't look that bad. I expected much worse. Your sister must have really worked hard to find that man. Oh, or maybe she's being played. With a face like that, I feel like he could just be scamming her. Your younger sister is so boring looking and straight-edged for some reason. I feel like she could be tricked easily. Are you sure it's okay? She's not loaning him any money, is she?
I don't think that she would need to loan him any money.
Oh, and how do you know?
Because he's a doctor?
Huh?
Oh, sorry, did I not tell you? My sister's a nurse. You wouldn't believe how fancy the wedding was. You really can't underestimate how rich a doctor is. It was incredible.
He's a doctor?
It was a brilliant hotel, and there was apparently a really famous chef. The food was incredible, too.
Really?
Yeah, the attendees were all fancy. They were all basically just single men. Most of them worked at famous research hospitals, too. All of his coworkers, all of his old friends, they were all doctors.
What the hell? Why didn't you just tell me that first?
Why would I?
If you'd told me that first, of course I would have gone. A doctor is way too good for someone like your younger sister and is perfect for someone like me. Oh, I should have gone. And you knew that. But you didn't tell me because you knew that, right? You're seriously the worst. Get a divorce. You need to get a divorce with my younger brother right now.
Don't worry, I'll let him know what you think.
Huh?
I think he'll be pretty pissed off, hearing that you were just telling me to get a divorce from him.
So tell him then. Not that I care if he gets angry anyway.
I think that if you don't have our support, though, you're going to be in serious trouble. Are you sure you're going to be okay?
You would never do such a thing. You think he's just going to abandon my parents?
Well, we thought that we were helping your parents out, but it seems like you were just stealing the money anyway. We found out about that recently. So I think that telling him about what you said right now will make him stop sending you money. Even if he doesn't stop, I will be giving Mom the money directly from now on.
Whatever. Anyway, introduce me.
What? Introduce you to who?
Introduce me to your younger sister's husband's friends. I don't care if they're co-workers or what. You didn't take me to the wedding, so that's the least you can do.
I invited you, but you didn't come. That was your decision. I don't know their contact information anyway. I can't introduce you.
What? You're seriously so damn useless. Just ask your younger sister then. You can literally figure it out. Think about it before you say you can't.
Why do I have to do all that for you? I don't think my younger sister is going to be doing any of that for you either.
Why the hell not? There aren't that many beautiful single women like me. I'm a keeper for sure.
I don't think my younger sister is going to be introducing some rotten bitch to a bunch of her coworkers.
Rotten bitch? What?
Oh, I was talking about you, Yvonne.
How rude of you! How could you be that rude to your husband's sister? I cannot believe the audacity.
It's the truth. That includes everything from the past, too. Even as a grown adult, you made fun of my younger sister. You even made fun of her wedding photos. You had to nitpick. There was no way I would introduce anyone like that. By the way, that dress you were calling lame? It was apparently in the Paris collection. You really don't understand high-class fashion, do you?
I didn't say anything bad about the dress.
You literally talked bad about it. I guess classy items are something beyond your realm of understanding, huh? I mean, to be fair, you do collect fake brand bags that kind of look like the real thing.
I just like the design of them, okay? It has nothing to do with you.
That's true, but your love life also has nothing to do with me. So I'm not going to introduce you to anyone. I'm not going to tell my sister about it either.
Why not? You should have forced me to go even if I didn't want to go. I see. You really didn't want me to get married, huh?
What?
You didn't want me to marry some high elite class man and stand above you and your stupid ass sister. I see. Now it all makes sense. Just admit it.
I didn't think about that at all. I'm actually perfectly fine with my life right now. I don't think my sister gives a shit about you either. Also, I'm just going to be clear about it now. Just because you showed up to the wedding doesn't mean that people who are making 6 digits a year aren't going to choose some old hoe like you.
What the hell are you talking about? Of course they're going to choose me. I'm the most beautiful woman in town. I'm so popular. I'm still in the beauty team for the town.
You were released from the beauty team. You're just a drugstore clerk now. Besides, the whole thing about being the most beautiful woman in town, that was when you were in elementary school. Are you seriously talking about something that was true 30 years ago?
Oh, shut up. You just don't understand. My appeal is incredible and everyone loves me. Whatever. Just introduce me to your sister's husband.
Huh?
I'm sure you have his contact info, right? Tell me right now. I'm so much more woman compared to your younger sister, and I'm gonna let him understand that.
Okay, now you're really not making any sense. You can't find a good job and you're almost 40. You're literally stealing and mooching off your parents' retirement.
What are you talking about? I am not almost 40. I'm only 37.
Also, my sister has already left for her honeymoon. They're apparently traveling around Europe now. I'm not going to tell you any contact information. And from now on, we will be stopping all financial support for you. After you being that rude, we have no choice but to cut all ties. I don't want you to try to make any weird moves towards my sister's husband anyways.
Now, hang on about the money. You don't have to be that rash, right?
I'm sure some 6-figure-a-year good-looking dude will find you, right? Keep dreaming, dumbass. Jennifer explained everything to her husband and was furious as expected. Her husband loves Jennifer very much, so when he saw the whole thing with the divorce and the story about being introduced, he just couldn't forgive her anymore. He got pissed off at her at the phone and then called his parents and said that he would not be contacting her ever again. He said that he would not be going home unless they chased her out of their house. And so her parents are trying to convince her to leave the house. Yvonne started spewing something about how she was going to find some rich man and be a gold digger, but no one wanted to go out with this almost 40-year-old live-at-home woman. She's all alone now. It's going to be a while before she finds someone to settle down with.
Alice, when are you going to come see us?
I plan to come see you during the long weekend in May. Why do you ask?
You're not going to come see us until May? Ugh, that is too far away. Can't you come over sooner? You're part of this family now. You should make time for your new family too.
What do you mean by that?
Look, I've told you many times before, but I don't think you understand what it means to marry into this family. We have certain rules and traditions that need to be followed. We have certain expectations of you.
I see. You've told me this a million times, but I still don't seem to grasp the meaning of what you've been telling me.
You married my brother, so I'd like you to come visit more often with him. It's quite simple, really. And don't you think you're being rude to my parents as well? They miss having my brother around.
I don't think that I'm being rude to anyone.
That kind of thinking is what makes you rude. Now that you're married, you should think more about your in-laws and their needs. Don't you want them to like you? The happiness of your husband's family should be one of your top priorities now. Didn't your parents teach you any manners? I feel sorry for you that you grew up to be so clueless.
You're the one that doesn't have any manners. You shouldn't make negative assumptions about my parents. You don't even know them.
I'm not being rude. I'm just stating the facts.
The reason why I haven't been able to come visit you and your family often is because it's difficult for us to take time off work. We're both really busy. If we had the time, we'd come over. Your mother is very understanding about this, so I don't know why you're making such a big deal out of this.
My mom is only being nice to you because she doesn't want to be rude. Deep down, she misses seeing my brother. You shouldn't take her kindness for granted. You haven't been able to produce any offspring yet. Don't you want my parents to meet their grandchildren? I can't believe you're trying to make me look like the bad person here.
I'm not blaming anyone for this situation.
Well, I feel like you're neglecting our family. And you also have a pretty big attitude. I would act more modest around my in-laws. Also, don't you feel bad that you haven't been able to bear any children? I'm sure that deep down my brother and mother feel oh so disappointed. I don't understand why my brother chose you as his wife.
Now you're just being hurtful. Do you have to be so cruel to me? What have I ever done to you? The fact that Alan and I can't have any children is something that we need to work out together. It has nothing to do with you. Besides, I'm getting along just fine with your parents. You're the only one giving me a difficult time.
He got that right. I'm having a hard time getting through to you. I don't understand what Alan sees in you. You're not the type of person I can be friends with.
Wow, you're being honest today.
It's because you just don't get it. You use work as an excuse not to spend any time with us. Alan tells me that you make him do half the housework too. You don't have any children, so why shouldn't you have the time to take care of the house on your own? You shouldn't be asking for my brother's help. I really don't understand you. I feel sorry for your parents too. They have a lousy daughter.
What's it to you? Why do you care so much? I'm sick and tired of you complaining about everything. This is my marriage. Please, stay out of it.
You know that I'm right. You just don't want to admit it.
How much time do you have on your hands? Why do you message me every day? Don't you have anything better to do?
Why don't you get my brother to stop me if it bothers you so much? I'm sure that he's going to side with me, though. He values me more than you.
I do understand that you don't like me, but could you please stop being mean to my family as well? What do you have against us?
I'm just saying you're a lousy wife and daughter.
I heard that you got engaged. He met your parents, right?
How do you know that?
Your mother sent me a photo of you and him when he visited your house the other day.
Why would she do that? You don't have to worry about me, though. I'm going to be a great wife unlike you.
Do you know where your fiancé Kevin is from?
How do you know his name? It's very creepy of you. I don't want Kevin to meet you ever. You're an embarrassment to my family. I'd like you to divorce my brother. Please leave me and my family alone. We don't want anything to do with you.
You haven't answered my question. Do you know where Kevin is from?
He's from the town next to ours.
I'm from the same town as Kevin, you know.
Huh? What's that got to do with anything?
Kevin is my childhood friend.
What's your point?
I just think it's a big coincidence. Kevin and I used to be neighbors. We've known each other since we were small, and we went to the same school together until we graduated high school. I still see him a couple of times a year when we meet up with old friends.
Where are you going with this?
When I saw the photo that your mother sent me, I was shocked to find out that he's now engaged to you.
So you've known Kevin since he was a child? This isn't your idea of a sick joke, then?
This isn't a joke. Your fiancé is one of my best friends. Isn't that so weird?
Yes. It's very weird. In fact, it's kind of creepy. But I'm engaged to Kevin, and there's nothing that you can do about that.
Why would I do anything?
Don't you want to try and say mean things about me to Kevin?
I don't.
I'm sure you'd get a kick out of telling him what a bitch I am to you.
Look, I'm actually a decent person. You're the one bullying me. At least you seem to be aware of the fact that you're a bully to me.
Shut up. And don't say anything about me to Kevin. I finally got him to propose to me. I won't let you ruin this for me.
I see. I know that you've had a hard time finding someone to ask you out. You're lucky that you met Kevin.
Stop patronizing me.
You're 30 and in love with your brother. You're not exactly a catch. It's a miracle that you got Kevin to propose to you.
You're being rude again.
I'm sure that I'm nowhere near as rude as you. You know that, don't you? Or are you one of those people that hurt people and don't even realize it? If that's the case, Kevin is not going to be happy in his marriage.
Look, I get it now. If I apologize, will you not say anything to Kevin?
I think it's a little too late for that. My family and Kevin's family are really close. Kevin would be devastated if he found out what you said about me and my parents.
I had no idea you and Kevin were so close. I'm really sorry for my behavior up until now. I promise to be a better sister-in-law to you from now on. Will you forgive me?
That doesn't sound like a heartfelt apology to me. I'm not out to destroy your relationship with Kevin. I'm not evil.
And you won't say anything to Kevin then?
I don't plan to.
You're nicer than I expected.
Like you said, we're family now. Family is supposed to look out for one another, right? And I'd like Kevin to have a happy marriage. He means so much to me.
I think we started off on the wrong foot. You're actually a good person. I'm sorry I didn't realize that sooner.
So you're going to move in with Kevin's parents, right?
Well, we haven't talked about that yet.
Why not? Kevin told me that he expected you to move in with his parents.
I like living in this town. I don't want to move. There isn't much to do in Kevin's town, and I prefer living with my own parents. And I wouldn't have so much freedom if I had to live with Kevin's parents.
That makes no sense. You're the one that told me that once a woman gets married, she should move in with her in-laws.
It's a little different for me, you see? I already live with my own parents, so it doesn't make sense for me to move out. Kevin is going to move in with us. He told me that he's fine with that.
Does he know that you mean your parents' place and not his?
What do you mean?
If you only said live with your parents, he may have misunderstood you and thought that you were talking about his parents and not yours.
But if I'm the one using the word parents, normally that would mean my parents and not his, right?
Okay, if you say so. I was just a little worried because I know that Kevin divorced his ex-wife because she refused to move in with his parents. I figured that he would expect the same from you, that's all.
What?
I suppose he loves you more than his ex-wife. Lucky for you. If Kevin's okay with it, there's no issue here.
Wait a minute.
I wish you and Kevin all the happiness in the world.
You're not making any sense. I had no idea that Kevin was married before.
You didn't know? Why would he hide that from you? In fact, Kevin's been married twice before, and he has 3 children from his previous marriages. I assumed he told you that.
Well, he didn't. You're making this all up. You're just trying to get back at me.
I'm merely stating the facts here. I'm surprised that Kevin kept this from you. By the way, I let Kevin's mother know what kind of person you really are.
What did you say to her?
I told her that you knew how important it was for you as Kevin's wife to move in with them after you two are married. Kevin's mother really appreciated the fact that you were willing to move in with them. She was thrilled. Kevin's first wife moved in with them, but she had enough after 6 months of living together. And Kevin's second wife was resistant to moving in from the beginning. She's so happy that Kevin met you.
This is the first time I'm hearing of this. Kevin didn't say a word to me. I am not going to move in with Kevin's parents.
I guess you should say that to Kevin and his parents because they seem to think otherwise. But if you tell them how you really feel, Kevin may rethink his marriage to you. Is that really what you want? I mean, you were so desperate to get married. I can't see you meeting another man anytime soon.
I am not going to live with Kevin's parents, but I can persuade him to still marry me. I'm sure that he'll understand where I'm coming from.
Are you sure about that? Kevin's really old-fashioned in his way of thinking. And he loves his mother too much. He probably loves her more than he loves you. The two are inseparable, so I think that you'll have a hard time persuading them.
Really? I didn't know that Kevin was so close to his mother. What am I supposed to do then?
Also, I had a chat with Alan. I showed him all the messages that you sent me up until now.
Why would you do that?
I was angry, and I wanted him to know what you were doing to me. We both don't intend on coming over to your parents' house as long as you live there. And you won't be hearing from either of us again.
Why is Alan upset with me too?
He's upset because you don't know how to be nice to me. He used to love you, but after he saw how you were treating me, he was pretty upset. If you decide to move in with Kevin's parents, we can go see your parents whenever we want to. Don't you think that moving in with Kevin's parents is the best thing for everyone in this family?
Please ask Alan to forgive me. My mother will be upset if she finds out that Alan's angry with me.
This is your mess. You need to figure out a way to fix this yourself. Say hi to your new mother-in-law for me. Please don't message me ever again. Bye! Karen explained to Kevin that she wanted to continue to live with her parents and she asked him to move in with her. Kevin didn't want that because he didn't want to be separated from his own parents. Kevin told Karen that he would call off their engagement if she didn't agree to live with his parents, and if their engagement were to be called off, he would be asking her to pay him alimony. In the end, Karen ended up marrying Kevin and putting his needs before her own. But things didn't go so well for Karen. She found it tough and miserable to be living with her in-laws. On top of that, she saw that Kevin had to use a majority of his earnings to pay for child support for the children that he already had with his previous 2 wives. That didn't leave much money for Kevin and Karen, and so they were forced to live a frugal life. Also, Kevin cared a great deal for his mother and didn't pay much attention to Karen, which left her feeling very lonely. I guess karma gave Karen what she deserved in the end.